I never imagined that survival could feel like defeat. When I woke up in that stark white hospital bed, tubes running through my arms and machines beeping in rhythm with my pulse, I told myself I was lucky. I had made it through. The accident hadn't taken me. My body was bruised, broken, but alive. I thought the worst was behind me. I couldn't have been more wrong. For 2 long weeks, I lay in that hospital, fighting my way back to strength. Through the pain, through the sleepless nights, the thought of home kept me going. My apartment, warm, familiar, filled with the life I'd built with my wife, Melissa, and our golden retriever, Max. I imagined his tail wagging when I walked through the door, the way he'd jump up and shower me with licks, as if he knew I had returned from battle. Melissa visited a few times in the beginning. She came with flowers once, sat by my bed, and even held my hand. But something about her was different. Her visits were short, her smile distracted, her phone buzzing in her lap more often than not. I convinced myself it was stress, worry, the fear of losing me. I never suspected it was distance being created deliberately. Toward the end of my stay, her visits stopped altogether. When I called, she rarely answered. When she did, her voice was hurried, excuses stacking on top of each other like walls I couldn't climb. But still, I clung to the thought of home, of normalcy. The day I was discharged, the nurse wheeled me out, and the cool air hit my face like freedom. I caught a taxi and gave the driver my address. My heart pounded the closer we got. I imagined Melissa waiting at the door, maybe balloons, maybe just open arms in relief. I imagined Max's bark echoing down the hall. Instead, I unlocked the door to silence. The apartment was empty. I stepped inside, confused, the echo of my own footsteps bouncing off bare walls. The couch gone. The table where we ate dinner gone. The framed photos of vacations, birthdays, anniversaries, all stripped away. Every piece of furniture, every trace of our life together had vanished. My chest tightened. "Melissa?" I called out, though my voice cracked in the hollowness. No reply. No familiar scent of her perfume. No sound of Max's paws skittering toward me. The silence was deafening. I rushed from room to room, panic flooding me. The bedroom. The bed stripped, closets gutted, drawers empty. The kitchen. Cupboards bare, not even a mug left behind. And then the worst discovery of all, the corner where Max's bed used to be, now empty. His toys, his leash, his bowls, all gone. I stumbled back, my knees weak. My dog, my companion. She had given him away. My phone buzzed in my pocket. A notification from my bank. I opened the app, my breath catching my throat. The accounts, every savings, every cent I'd worked for, emptied. Zero balance. It hit me like a second accident, worse than the first. My wife hadn't just left me. She had taken everything. It took me 2 days to track her down. 2 days of unanswered calls, of dead ends, until finally, a mutual friend broke under the weight of my desperation and told me the truth. Melissa wasn't alone. She had left with someone else, a man she had been seeing while I lay in that hospital bed, fighting to come back to her, her new lover. Together, they had cleared out my apartment, given away my dog, sold off every piece of furniture, drained my accounts, and vanished like thieves in the night. While I was clinging to life, she was building a new one with him. When I finally confronted her, it wasn't with anger at first. It was disbelief. "Why?" I asked, my voice trembling more than I wanted it to. "Why would you do this to me?" She looked at me as if I were a stranger. Her eyes, once so familiar, were cold now, almost pitying. "Because you were holding me back," she said simply. "I wanted more. I needed more. He gives me that. You were just a burden." A burden. The word sliced deeper than any wound the accident had given me. I stood there, every memory flashing before me. Our vows, our laughter, the life we said we'd build together. All of it crushed under the weight of her betrayal. I didn't yell. I didn't beg. Something inside me snapped, but not into rage, into clarity. Melissa and her lover had taken my possessions, my dog, my money, but they couldn't take the one thing that had carried me through the hospital, through the accident, through the hollow silence of my apartment. My will to rise again. So I turned away. Walking back into that empty apartment, I realized something. Yes, they had stripped it bare, but in doing so, they had given me a clean slate, a chance to rebuild, not with someone who would betray me, but with the resilience that betrayal had carved into me. I reported the thefts. I fought to get Max back. The road ahead was steep, but I knew one thing. I had already survived worse. When I got out of the hospital, I thought I was returning to the life I knew. Instead, I discovered the truth that the woman I loved had already left me long before I opened my eyes in that bed. And though she tried to break me by taking everything, she forgot one thing. A man who has survived death once can survive betrayal too.